All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Another day, another hissy fit out of Terence, the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, Crawford, as he blames Errol Spence Jr.'s fans for hyping up Jaron Ennis and seemingly being the reason that he got stripped of his IBF title. Can't make certain people happy, man. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we are going to go through a subject matter that reminds me of the saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can make perfect sense to somebody, but you can't make them think. Now, in this particular circumstance, I'm talking about the reaction people are having to a statement from Terence Bud Crawford. When he took to Twitter yesterday, he and his team went on a bit of a communication spree yesterday, and he lashed out at Errol Spence Jr. fans about Jaron Boots Ennis. Not quite sure, though, whether or not he's 100% spot on about this. In fact, I don't think he is. But before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, though, thank you for checking the video out. If you would not mind, if you like the video, consider subscribing it. Leave a comment in the comment section, good or bad, what have you. I'm going to tell you it like I see it and call it like I see it. And this particular situation, man, it's more of the same, but it is. But I got to say one thing, though, man, at least Terence Crawford's consistent. Now, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for helping me and helping us keep this channel going by watching this video. Thank you guys that come by the live streams that we have in the mornings. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of videos like this and the super chats and joins the channel as members, because that's how we are able to continue to do what we do on the channel, and we ain't crying about no support that we get because this ain't pay-per-view, right? We're not getting millions of dollars to do this. So if somebody wants to give me their comment or support, I'm going to say thank you very much and appreciate every one of you, even if we disagree. I wish the same thing could be said for Terence Crawford, who apparently does not feel that way. He takes to Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and says something to the effect of that boxing here. I see all these Errol Spence Jr. fans who are now trying to build up Jaron Ennis to fight me. I've been going through this for the last 5 years. When are you guys just going to understand that I'm great? In short, or what I take from that is that he gets stripped of the IBF title, because that's just what happened. And people are saying, hey, man, if you didn't want to get stripped of your IBF title, fight Jaron Boots Ennis. He's your mandatory. Now, portion of it is absolutely correct what he said about people have been saying for 5 years that Errol Spence Jr. was going to beat him. He proved people wrong by winning that fight. Here's the problem. There's no finish line in boxing. Once you beat one guy, you're the champion. Your job is to fight the next guy. That's just what it is. Everybody has to go through that. That's not some special punishment somebody is putting on Terence Crawford. And the idea that Jaron Ennis has just popped up out of nowhere is ridiculous, because people have been talking about Jaron Ennis fighting the winner of Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for at least the last 2 years. This is something that Terence Crawford was having conversations about and being asked about well before he beat Errol Spence Jr. So I don't understand what the confusion is. You knew that people were going to talk about Jaron Ennis the second the fight was over. because Jaron Ennis is a young, exciting fighter who is in the top of every one of those sanctioning bodies that people for the last several years were wondering whether or not he was better than Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. So I don't understand why Terence Crawford's acting brand new about it. But here's the thing. If Terence Crawford doesn't want to hear it, dude, beat him. And if all of these Errol Spence Jr. fans are the ones that are pushing Jaron Ennis, isn't that good for him? Because it's the Errol Spence Jr. fans that were buying the pay-per-view fight that made you all that money. I mean, if you're going to looking for big fights, how are you going to have a big fight and you don't have Errol Spence Jr.'s fan base buying your fight? You're not. Because despite the way that the negotiation went between Errol and Terence, I'm trying to tell you still, Errol Spence Jr. is the guy with the bigger fan base, man, than Terence Crawford is. And it will continue to be that way as long as Terence Crawford kind of dismisses what boxing fans want him to do with a thumb of the nose and a very, very arrogant attitude. Not that he doesn't deserve to be extremely confident, right? Or say that, hey, man, I'm going to beat this guy too. I'm going to beat everybody. Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. And there's no reason for him not to believe it because, hey, man, for sure, Terence Crawford can do his thing in that ring. However, man, you're not going to get out of those conversations because it's the nature of the beast. When you beat somebody, somebody's going to say, who are you going to fight next? Same thing with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. beat Oscar De La Hoya. People didn't say, oh, well, that's it. Enshrine him in the Hall of Fame and let's us all take a knee and praise Lord Floyd. Didn't happen. Okay, didn't happen. The next guy came up. Well, what about this guy, Manny Pacquiao? Right? He beats Manny Pacquiao. Well, you're not fighting Keith Thurman. You're not fighting Sean Porter. Right? You didn't fight Antonio Margarito. What, dog? That's what happens. That's what happens. So I don't understand how people don't see that. And here's the thing. It's because of your greatness that they want to see you fight Jaron Ennis. If they didn't think you were great and didn't know that you were an excellent fighter, they wouldn't be looking at who the next guy is that you're going to fight. Either way you go, you're going to have to fight somebody. And you don't want to fight Jaron Ennis. You go to 154, whoever you fight at 154, besides obviously the Errol Spence Jr. rematch, nobody's going to say that that guy's better than Jaron Ennis. The only way you're going to get rid of that is if Jaron Ennis loses or you fight him and beat him. That's the only way it's going to happen because that's how boxing is. And it's always been like that. It's not everybody's being mad. Everybody's mistreating Terence Crawford. That's just ridiculous. But specifically as to the point, as it relates to Jaron Ennis, man, people have been talking about Jaron Ennis for years now. Since before he beat Castillo Clayton. We've been having conversations on YouTube about when is Errol Spence Jr. going to fight him? When is Terence Crawford going to fight him? Do you think Errol can beat him? Do you think Terence Crawford can beat him? And believe it or not, Jaron Ennis has his own distinct fan base that is separate from Errol Spence Jr.'s and Terence Crawford's. There's a bunch of people out here like, I don't care. I think he beats both of them and are riding with boots. It's the next wave. It's just what happens. But anyway, I just had to make my comment about that because it's all good fun at the end of the day because we know Terence Crawford's not going to fight him, right? He's going to sit behind his greatness and say, hey, I've already made it. Let him go beat somebody else up and not me, or vice versa. I'm going to go beat somebody up, but I'm not going to risk it with that kid. But don't act like people are blind or like people just making it up. Like there's no reason to want to see that fight and no reason to think that could be a very interesting fight that Terence Crawford could potentially lose. If that's what people are communicating, man, you guys can dump that nonsense. That kid looks like the real deal. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.